In this brief tutorial, we're going to show you how to take the AdventureCam 8 and set it up to do time-lapse photography. But before we do that, let me just take a moment and explain the difference between regular video and time-lapse photography. When your camera is set to video mode, you're capturing images or frames per second at either 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. And of course, when those are played back, you get the illusion of a smooth moving video action. Time-lapse photography is different in that we exit the video mode of the camera and we go to still picture mode or photo mode. And in photo mode, what we can do is take a series of individual photographs every 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, all the way up to one picture every 60 seconds over a period of time. And when we play those images back, then we have again the illusion of smooth action video, except that it's extremely accelerated in speed, giving us the time-lapse illusion. So the first thing we need to do is set the camera up. There's a few steps we need to go through to make sure that we do this properly. The first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and connect an HDMI cable to this little camera so that we can watch the results on a monitor rather than just on this little tiny screen. Okay, the first thing you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner of the display, you'll see the video camera icon. That's by default what the camera is going to do. So we're going to scroll through, pressing the power button on the front. We're going to scroll through the different settings until we get to the tool or the settings icon. Once we've got there, we just simply push the select button to enter that setting. We're not really interested in the settings on the first screen here, so we're going to go ahead and scroll down till we get to the second screen. Now this is important because photo resolution determines the size of your images that you're going to use in your project. So if we enter that mode, you'll notice you have 4 options. Now I've already gone ahead and set this up for time-lapse. By default it's going to be 12 megapixel. And those images are wonderful if you want to take still pictures and print them, but for time-lapse we want to take hundreds of pictures and use less memory and then less computer power when we have to convert them to a video. So if we scroll down to 1920 by 1080, that's actually the size of full HD video. So we're going to select that size as our image size. Next we can skip burst rate, but we need to go down to time-lapse, hit enter, and make sure that you select the frames, the time sequence between each frame. 2 seconds, 3, 5, 10. If we go ahead and scroll down, it can be 20, 30, 60, or we can start back at 2. Now the rule of thumb here is actually pretty simple. If you're going to do a short time-lapse sequence, so let's say you're riding up the chairlift or taking a short drive around town, 5-10 minutes, then 2 seconds is perfect. The longer you're going to do the sequence of time-lapse video, then the longer time you want between exposures. All the way up to 60 seconds would be an example if you're going to leave the camera on all day, take a series of pictures of the skyline, the weather, the clouds, the sun, traffic, then one picture every 60 seconds because your camera is going to be on maybe for 12 hours. So in this example, we'll just go ahead and select 2 seconds. And then finally, the last thing we want to do is continuous lapse. We'll hit enter here and make sure that that is on. This is telling the camera that you're leaving the timer mode of just taking a self-timer picture and we're going to continuous time-lapse mode. So make sure that that is on so that the camera will continue to take pictures based on what you've set it at. Now we can go ahead and scroll down to the end, and once the X is highlighted, I'll push enter, and now the camera is ready to go, except we've defaulted back to video mode. So I'm going to press the button on the front and get to the timer time-lapse mode. Now you'll notice when I push the start button, it counts down and starts taking pictures. It's going to take a picture every 2 seconds. you'll see that I have the capacity, if you look at the screen, of 6,800 pictures if I wanted to take that many pictures, which I don't. Now as soon as I'm done with my little thing, I just simply turn it off and we're done. Now I'll turn the camera off, and that's all we need to do. That's as simple as it is. You go out, you take your images, and in the next tutorial we're going to show you how to take those images and create a time-lapse video.